The month you retire is statistically one of the most dangerous months of your life. Not because of the stock market, not because of inflation, because your body starts dying faster. And here's what nobody in the financial industry is telling you. Because it's bad for business. The entire retirement system was engineered around one uncomfortable assumption: that most people won't live long enough to collect what they paid in. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's math. When Social Security was created in 1935, the retirement age was set at 65. The average American life expectancy at the time? 61 years old. Do the math yourself. So when you picture retirement, the freedom, the golf courses, the mornings with no alarm, you're picturing a version of rest that your biology may not survive. A 2024 study published in the Journal of Public Economics found that men who retire at 62, the earliest age for Social Security benefits, experience a mortality increase of up to 20% within the first year. Not after a decade, within the first year. This isn't about working yourself to death. This is about what happens when you stop. In this video, I'm going to show you the biological, financial, and psychological mechanisms behind what researchers call the retirement death spiral, and why the $22 trillion sitting in American 401ks right now may be solving the wrong problem entirely. You're going to see data from the NIH, the Federal Reserve, and behavioral economists that directly contradict what the mainstream financial advice machine has been selling you for 30 years. And by the end, you'll have a framework, not just a feeling, to make decisions about work, identity, and money that actually align with how human biology works. But before we get into the numbers, you need to understand one thing that almost every retirement video skips entirely. Retirement isn't a finish line. It's a biological trigger. And once you see what it triggers, you can't unsee it. Is 63 years old. He worked for 35 years in logistics management in Ohio. He saved carefully $340,000 in his 401k, a modest home, no debt. By every financial metric, he did everything right. 6 months after retirement, his doctor flags elevated cortisol levels, early-stage cognitive decline, and a blood pressure spike. David isn't sick. He's just stopped. That story isn't an anecdote. It's a pattern. Here's what the research actually shows. According to a meta-analysis published in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health, covering 25 longitudinal studies, on-time retirement compared to continued working was associated with a 56% higher hazard ratio for mortality in populations not fully adjusted for prior health status. 56%. That's not a rounding error. That's a signal. And the mechanism isn't mysterious. It's documented across 3 converging systems in your body. First, cognitive load collapse. Your brain is a prediction machine. It runs on challenge, novelty, and structured problem solving. Work, even work you hate, provides a daily architecture of micro-decisions that keep your prefrontal cortex active. Remove that architecture overnight, and the research from the Rush Memory and Aging Project shows cognitive decline accelerates by a measurable factor. Second, social isolation compression. The Harvard Study of Adult Development, the longest-running study on human happiness in history, spanning over 85 years, concluded that social connection is the single strongest predictor of late-life health. For most Americans, 60 to 70% of their meaningful weekly social interactions happen at work. Retirement eliminates them in a single day. Not gradually, on day one. Third, identity dissolution. This one is the most underestimated. When someone asks, "What do you do?" and you no longer have a professional answer, that's not a social inconvenience. According to Erik Erikson's framework of psychosocial development, loss of productive role identity in later life is directly linked to what he called despair, the clinical opposite of integrity. And despair, in biological terms, expresses as inflammation, cortisol dysregulation, and immune suppression. You are not lazy. You are not just getting older. Your body is responding to the removal of purpose as if it were a threat to survival. Because evolutionarily, it is. So here's the part nobody puts in the 60-second retirement calculator reel. The biggest risk to your retirement portfolio isn't market volatility. It's you surviving long enough to spend it and staying alive enough to enjoy it. But wait, because the financial system has its own version of this story, and it's even darker. Here's a fact that should make you stop scrolling. The system was designed so that the majority of contributors would never collect a single check. That's not cynicism. That's actuarial architecture. Now fast forward to today. According to provisional 2024 CDC data, U.S. life expectancy sits at approximately 77.5 years. Social Security's full retirement age is now 67 for anyone born after 1960. And bipartisan proposals are currently circulating in Congress to raise that threshold to 70. Do you see what's happening? The gap between when you can collect and when you'll die is being systematically compressed. Not because the math changed, because the incentive never changed. Now here's where it gets structurally interesting, and I want you to follow this carefully. The average American retires at 62. The average monthly Social Security benefit at 62 is $1,298, according to the SSA's 2024 data. If you wait until 70 to claim, that number jumps to approximately $2,038 per month, a 57% increase. That's not a secret. Every financial planner will tell you that. What they won't tell you as directly is this. To break even on delaying from 62 to 70, you need to live until approximately age 80. And if the data on early retirement mortality is accurate, meaning that retiring early accelerates your biological decline, then you may be making a financial decision that shortens the very life you're trying to fund. That's not a paradox. That's a trap. Here's a scenario worth planning around, even though no one can predict it with certainty. If Congress raises the full retirement age to 70, which the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget has explicitly modeled as a solvency option, and if behavioral data shows that early retirees continue to claim at 62 in large numbers, the system will have effectively recalibrated itself back to its 1935 design logic. The majority of contributors will collect for a shorter period than the actuarial tables require for full benefit recovery. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm saying the incentive structure already points there, and your retirement plan should be built to survive it either way. If you've made it this far, you already think differently than 90% of people watching financial content right now. Most people are planning for retirement as a destination. You're starting to see it as a decision architecture, with compounding consequences. That distinction matters more than your savings rate. And here's why. Let's do this calculation together. Because the number most people use is wrong. The financial industry defaults to the 4% withdrawal rule, developed by financial planner William Bengen in 1994, based on a 30-year retirement horizon. Take 4% of your portfolio each year, and statistically, you won't run out. The average American retirement savings at age 65? $87,000. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances 2023, at 4%, that's $290 per month. That's not retirement. That's a utility bill. Now let's run the real number. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics 2023 Consumer Expenditure Survey, The average American household aged 65 to 74 spends $57,818 per year. That's $4,818 per month just to maintain a standard of living equivalent to their working years. To fund that for 20 years without investment growth, you need $1.16 million at retirement. With conservative 5% annualized returns, you still need roughly $720,000 to not outlive your money. The median 55 to 64-year-old has $185,000 saved. That gap between $185,000 and $720,000 is not a savings problem. It's a structural miscalculation that has been normalized by an industry that profits from managing the assets you do have. Step 1. The baseline audit. Before anything else, you need to calculate your actual retirement number, not the industry default. Use Vanguard's Retirement Income Calculator or Fidelity's My Plan tool. Input your real projected expenses, not a percentage of income. Most people discover their number is 40 to 60% higher than they assumed. Common mistake: using pre-retirement income as a proxy for retirement spending. Healthcare alone, according to Fidelity's 2024 retiree healthcare cost estimate, averages $165,000 per couple in out-of-pocket costs after Medicare begins. Step 2. Rethink the sequence, not just the amount. Most people focus entirely on accumulation, how much they're saving. The research on retirement mortality suggests you should be equally focused on transition architecture, how you exit the workforce. A hard stop at 62 is biologically and financially the worst option on the table. The data from Purdue University and the NIH consistently points to one pattern among people who live long and spend well in retirement. They don't stop working. They restructure working. Consulting, part-time advisory roles, project-based income. Even 10 hours per week of meaningful, income-generating activity has been shown to preserve cognitive function, reduce isolation, and, critically, reduce the pressure on your 401k withdrawal rate. Step 3. The Roth conversion window. If you retire before 73, the current required minimum distribution age and your income drops significantly, you may be in the most favorable tax bracket of your adult life. That window is the optimal time to convert traditional 401k assets to a Roth IRA. Why? Because Roth withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. Every dollar you convert now at a 12% or 22% rate is a dollar that will never be taxed again, even if rates rise in the future, which the Congressional Budget Office projects is increasingly likely given federal deficit trajectories. Common mistake: waiting until 73 to think about this, when RMDs force taxable distributions and potentially push you into a higher bracket. Step 4. The HSA as a stealth retirement account. If you're still working and enrolled in a high-deductible health plan, the health savings account is the most tax-efficient vehicle in the American financial system. Contributions are pre-tax. Growth is tax-free. Withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free. According to the 2024 IRS guidelines, contribution limits are $4,150 for individuals and $8,300 for families. After 65, you can withdraw for any purpose without penalty, paying only ordinary income tax, making it functionally equivalent to a traditional IRA, but with an extra layer of tax-free optionality for healthcare. Most people have no idea this account exists. Their financial advisor does, but healthcare cost management often isn't where the advisory commission lives. Products. The healthiest retirees in a data aren't the ones who accumulated the most. They're the ones who redesigned their relationship with work before they exited it entirely. According to research from the Stanford Center on Longevity, people who transition through phased retirement, gradually reducing hours over 3 to 5 years, rather than stopping abruptly, show significantly lower rates of depression, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular events in the first decade post-retirement. That's not a financial strategy. That's a survival strategy. The Social Security Trustees' 2024 annual report projects that the combined trust funds will be depleted by 2033, at which point incoming payroll taxes would cover approximately 79% of scheduled benefits. That's not a projection from an advocacy group. That's the government's own assessment. Here's the scenario worth building around. If Congress responds to that depletion timeline with a combination of benefit reductions and retirement age increases, which is the most politically viable path based on the CBO's 2024 Budget Options Report, then anyone currently under 50 is effectively planning retirement on a foundation that could shift by 15 to 20% before they get there. The people who will be fine are not the ones who saved the most. They're the ones who built income streams that don't depend on a fixed claim date. Dividend portfolios, real estate income, consulting retainers, digital product revenue. These aren't alternative finance concepts. They're the structural hedge against a system that may not pay out what you were promised. And here's the second trend worth watching closely. The concept of longevity risk, the risk of outliving your money, is quietly reshaping how insurance companies and pension funds price retirement products. According to OECD's 2025 Pensions at a Glance report, average life expectancy at 65 for men in OECD countries is now 83.5 years. For women, 86.6 years. That's nearly 2 decades of retirement to fund. At current savings rates for most Americans, that math doesn't work. And the industry knows it. Here's what we've covered. And more importantly, what it means for you right now. Retirement, as most Americans are planning it, is a biological and financial miscalculation. The data from the NIH, the SSA, and behavioral economists converges on a single uncomfortable truth. Abrupt exit from productive work accelerates mortality, depletes social infrastructure, and destabilizes the identity architecture that keeps your brain functioning. The financial system, from Social Security's original 1935 age calibration to today's debate about raising the threshold to 70, was not designed with your longevity as its primary variable. You've been sold retirement as a reward for decades of discipline. The data suggests it may actually be a risk event, one that requires as much strategic preparation as the accumulation phase itself. 1. Run your real number using Fidelity or Vanguard's tools. Not a percentage, a dollar figure based on actual projected expenses, including healthcare. 2. Build a transition plan, not an exit date. Phased retirement, consulting work, or project-based income for 3 to 5 years post-retirement protects your biology and your balance sheet simultaneously. 3. Use the Roth conversion window between 60 and 72. That's likely the lowest tax bracket you'll occupy as an adult. Convert strategically every year until RMDs begin. 4. Max your HSA if you're eligible. It's the only triple tax-advantaged account in the American system, and most people are leaving it completely untouched. 5. Diversify your retirement income sources so that Social Security is a supplement, not a foundation. Dividend income, rental income, or part-time advisory work gives you optionality regardless of what Congress decides to do with the trust fund. Don't retire hard at 62 because the number is available. Early Social Security locks in a permanently reduced benefit. and based on the mortality data, it may also accelerate your decline. Don't assume your financial advisor is optimizing for longevity. Most advisory models are built around accumulation and distribution, not biological transition. Don't build a retirement plan around a Social Security benefit that may be 21% lower than projected by the time you claim it. Money has rules they never taught you in school. But the deepest rule isn't about interest rates or tax brackets. It's this: the life you're funding has to be worth living long enough to spend it. Retirement isn't the end of the story. It's the chapter where most people stop writing. And the chapters you don't write are the ones that cost you everything. Financial freedom was never supposed to be a secret known only to the wealthy. And the first step to claiming it is understanding the system clearly enough to stop letting it make decisions for you. The mortality data in this video only tells half the story. Because there are two hidden decisions inside your retirement plan that determine whether your savings protect you or slowly suffocate you. Most people make both of them by default without realizing it. That's exactly what the next video covers. The retirement trap, the two hidden decisions that define the entire structure of your retirement, and why getting even one of them wrong resets everything you've built. Drop a comment below with the age you're currently planning to retire and whether this video changed that number. The answers are going to be interesting. And if you want to understand the two structural decisions that most retirement plans never address, that next video is already waiting for you.